Good evening, everybody. What's up? I'm going to try a live feed tonight. This is Jason Homesteader. Welcome to Important Decisions. Not quite sure what to expect from a live feed. Probably get nobody to watch this. Maybe they'll watch it on the backside. But here we are, and life is good. I got no complaints. And I thought I'd jump on here and give a couple of reviews on a couple of new bottles that I recently got. One of them is a store pick that I was part of, and it was available through Easy Liquor and Rockton Food and Spirits. We collaborated with them, despite there being some bit of a hiccup with the distiller, not the distiller, but the distributor getting the product out to the right folks. And trying to situate that a little better. So we got the majority of the barrels up here, or the bottles up here, and the distributor wouldn't get them back down to Rockton. And so it's a disappointing thing that they only got a handful of them, because this was an absolutely banger of a bottle. I thought it's a great pick. And I just pulled the seal off of it. You can see that it's still full all the way up through. This is an OBSV coming in at 124.4 proof. And for those that don't know, OBSB is one of the 10 bourbon recipes made by the distillery featuring their high-end, high rye mash bill. Comes in about 35%, and the V yeast strain. It's been famously characterized by a vibrant balance, of fruitiness, some vanilla, and then some baking spices. It's done with the 60% corn, 35% rye, as well as the 5% malted barley. Might as well get into it. It's a pretty good little cork pop there. So we'll pour this in. We'll see what we get out of her. Now you can get this same recipe, the OBSV, in the 100 proof, but I find that these barrel proofs are even better, that they ultimately can be proofed down. They can't be proofed up. We've talked about this ad nauseum before. Man, that nose. There's a fair amount of fruit on it. Almost like it's a fight between a pear and an apple. I definitely fruit forward on that nose. I'm really hoping that this comes out a little bit better in time. I'm gonna get right into sipping it. I'm having one of them fucking days, and I'm sure y'all have them, where you feel like you're trying to put your best foot forward, and things just kind of keep happening. So I thought I'd get on here and just BS, talk shit. Initially, right off the jump, the palate, there's this creaminess that kind of comes over. Definitely a fair amount of vanilla. There is a bit of spice late there that kind of hits the back of the throat, but that initial just touch of the tongue, there's that it's a creamy vanilla. There's the fruit in there. Man, that nose is still just a fruit bomb. And for those of you that have never done a Four Roses pick, to say they're difficult wouldn't be right, but I think they're complex. You come into the room, they sit you down, and you got a barrel head there that's acting as a lazy Susan, and you're able to sample through all 10 recipes. Now, the thing about that is it can be difficult to settle in on one. So we don't ever chase the recipe. We ask not to know the recipes going into it. We asked that we just can taste it. And I think the group picked the right barrel that was put in front of us. Is this, the best OBSV ever? I don't know. I've only had a couple. There's a few new picks out there that I'm thinking of grabbing just so I can do a blind and kind of do a who did it better, if you will. And so I got to come back and set this again because that nose is still jumping off with just an inviting amount of fruitfulness. This isn't about the spice. I mentioned baking spice in there. I don't know if it's baking spice. I can just tell you there's a little bit of spice that hits you on the very end of the finish that kind of says goodbye to you. But this nose, it's just inviting, being fruit forward. Little hint of cherry, but I still get that pear and apple that I initially mentioned. Still that mouth coat. I mean, again, 124.4 proof. This son of a bitch is pretty damn legitimately good. And I like that proof point. I felt like recently, like I said, that my proof is, that 105 to 120. Obviously, you can go a couple of points higher, maybe a couple of points lower, depending on the expression and what they have into it. But we got this pick available. There's still a handful of cases around. So if you're in Sun Prairie, come visit Easy Liquor. If you're in Rockton, go visit AK and Chris down there at Rockton Food and Spirits. I know they have some there. I think our price point on these was right at $100, maybe $94.99. I apologize if I'm wrong, but you should be able to get out for it right around $100 out the door. It's a banger of a pick. It's got a good coat. There's a fair amount of oiliness just kind of creeping down that glass after you rotate it a bit. I don't have a ton more to say about it. I think we picked you a great one. We'd love to see these bottles get moved. And if you're going to be in Sun Prairie next Tuesday, maybe you show up for our raffle, be in person, maybe something special happens. No promises. I don't own the store. I just help them do some picks. So on that note, I'm going to ask you, like and subscribe. I want to get these subscribers up. I still have a bottle of juice I want to give away. I thank you for your time. I thank you for listening. Have a great night. Make important decisions. I'm Jason. I'll see you next time.